I am beating every N64 game, and I mean all of them. The twist is, the next game I play is randomly selected, so I have no clue what's coming next. This is the journey to beating every N64 game. Game number 103, NFL Blitz. Released in 1998, this game was developed and published by Midway. If you're from the United States, this game needs no introduction. If not, well, maybe you've heard of it? If you went to an arcade in the late 90s or the early 2000s, you definitely saw this game. Heck, modern barcades will usually have a cabinet for it as well. With the popularity of it in arcades, it's no surprise Midway decided to port the game to the N64 as well. The game is best played in multiplayer with some friends, but I imagine the single player experience is pretty decent as well. I guess we're about to find out though. Let's get into it. The main single player mode in this game is the season, so that's what we'll be doing to beat this game. I just have to win the Super Bowl at the end. It was hard to choose which team to play. The game makes it even harder by giving you a time limit to pick your team. Like, why? Why is it necessary to have a time limit when you pick your team? It just makes no sense. I ended up playing as the Denver Broncos because they were great with John Elway and Shannon Sharpe. My first game was against the New England Patriots. A big memory of mine for this game is while you're waiting on the game to start, there's cheats you can input. I never learned any of them, so I would just kinda spam buttons hoping something cool happened. Probably never got one though. So if you're not familiar with NFL Blitz, it's basically American football with rules resembling the real thing, but quite different. The main difference people probably remember is the hits on other players. They're significantly more aggressive, and there's no rules on late hits. Anyway, I ended up winning this first game 39-35. The graphics in the game are pretty decent. It looks a bit better in the arcade, but I think they look good on N64 as well. It's a very unrealistic look. During a game, there's very light music track being played with the classic Midway sports announcer on commentary. You know the one, he was like in NBA Jam and Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey.
Time is running out.
Game 2 was against the Dallas Cowboys. By far the best play on offense is the bomb. You've got 3 receivers on one side, so depending on how the defense is lined up, you can run either left or right safely. Everyone is fast in this game, even the quarterbacks who would never run in their entire career. It's rare to need to, but you can also pass with this play. The passing in this game is kind of weird though. It will highlight the receiver you're looking at, and it can be hard to tell who you actually want. I had a lot of interceptions thrown this game. It's especially prevalent when you're winning. The rubber banding in this game is outrageous. There's multiple difficulty levels in which I assume it kicks in harder, and mine was on medium. When you're winning, it's way more likely for the other team to break tackles or for you to fumble. But anyway, I beat the Cowboys 37-16. And then in week 3, I took down the Oakland Raiders 32-21. Then took down the Washington Redskins 33-21 in week 4. Week 5, we were up against the Philadelphia Eagles. On the first drive of the game, John Elway started off strong with a 37-yard gain, stiff-arming someone in the process. We did not expect him to run the ball so much going into this season, but he's one of the rushing leaders. Just a few plays later, and John Elway with the showboating into the end zone. No one can keep up with him. You get the choice to get a free extra point or risk it and go for a 2-point conversion. Never, and I mean never, go for the free point. That's weak. Always go for 2. Elway did convert the 2 points here. Now onto the Eagles' first drive, the forgettable quarterback Bobby Hoying throws it to Charlie Garner along the sideline, but he's out of bounds. Excellent coverage there by the Broncos defense. A few plays later, about 30 yards out, Bobby Hoying throws it over the middle to Jeff Graham, who leaps his way into the end zone. After converting the 2 points, the game was tied up 8-all near the end of the first. Just a couple plays later, John Elway. Oh my gosh, this guy's like Sonic out there. He is dragged into the end zone for another Broncos touchdown. The refs really botched the call on the 2-point conversion, and the Broncos are up 14-8 at the end of the first. The Eagles were at 4th and short on their next drive and they opted for a field goal. Rare thing to see in this game, folks. Somehow, the Broncos break through and sack the quarterback. What a play. The special teams really hustled out there tonight. On the very next play, John Elway runs down the sideline for another Broncos touchdown. He just can't be stopped. With a 2-point conversion successful, Broncos were up 22-8. The Eagles were held to 3 and out on the next drive, and in another rare sighting, we see the Eagles opt to punt the ball. You'd never see this in a match between two real players. Who does this? The game was not happy about this turn of events though, folks. The Eagles easily intercepted Elway's deep pass down the field. You'd think he'd just keep running it, you know? With some clutch spin moves, the Eagles were moving further and further downfield. With just 2 seconds left in the first half, they opted to go for the touchdown rather than kick a field goal. And one of the best plays I've seen all year, Hoying was sacked just before getting the pass off, keeping the score 22-8 at the half. Into the third quarter now, and the Eagles are lining up for a 69-yard field goal. I can't believe they would try this. Well, actually you can kick it that far in this game. However, the Broncos aren't letting it happen and they prevent the kick once again. The Broncos now right at the goal line, but Elway throws yet another interception. Why would he ever throw it? He clearly sucks. The Eagles punish this with a pass into the end zone for Charlie Garner. Oh, we got a game now. They opt for the free point, putting it 22-15 Broncos. Now into the fourth quarter, about a minute and a half to go, Elway throws downfield and it's dropped not once, but twice by his receivers. They've got to hold on to that one. You're being paid to play this, come on. The Eagles were driving downfield looking to tie it up, and oh my god, where is the flag on that play? Well, actually there's no pass interference in this game, so I guess there will never be a flag. There's not really any rules for that matter. They do recover though, and Bobby Hoying with Charlie Garner on the slant route over the middle into the end zone. It was tied up now with only 50 seconds to go in the game. I've never seen a game so back and forth like this. However, John Elway wasn't liking this, and on the very first play the next drive, he runs the ball 65 yards down the field, easily scoring, putting the Broncos up 8. He's my choice for the MVP for sure. The Eagles were driving downfield, and on the final play, Bobby Hoying overthrows his man, and that was it. The Broncos narrowly take the win 30-22. What a game. But yeah, that's the gist of how this one went. I'd just run the bomb and have Elway run the ball downfield unless it seemed impossible on that particular play. After that crazy game, I beat the Seattle Seahawks 30-19, the Jacksonville Jaguars 36-30, the Cincinnati Bengals 37-31, the San Diego Chargers 29-20, the Kansas City Chiefs 38-29, the Oakland Raiders 38-35, the San Diego Chargers again 39-35, the Kansas City Chiefs again 35-31, the New York Giants 43-37, the Miami Dolphins 40-32, and finally the Seattle Seahawks once again 53-45. Guess the 72 Dolphins aren't the only team who can go undefeated. With the regular season completed, it showed a screen saying I won my division and was headed to the playoffs. Thanks to how well we did in the regular season, I had a bye week in round 1. Heck yeah. My first match in the playoffs was up against none other than the Seattle Seahawks. It was a close back and forth, but well, the rubber banding kind of forces games to be close. I won 36-33. Then it was the conference finals. We were up against the Cincinnati Bengals, and well, they got wrecked 43-36. Now we were on to the final test, the Super Bowl. The biggest game in all of sports. That's right, soccer fans. The World Cup is nothing compared to the Super Bowl, baby. I'm so sorry. We were up against the Atlanta Falcons, and no, they didn't have Michael Vick by this point. He was still in college. I was down by 1 point with just seconds to go, but John Elway carried it into the end zone and put us up by 5. All I had to do was stop them on the kickoff return. Such an easy thing to do. Game! Oh my god, man. Okay, if they had scored there, I might have rage quit this entire N64 challenge. After winning, it shows a congratulatory message about how we're a great player and won the Super Bowl and blah blah blah. However, it said I wasn't quite good enough for the true ending. My rating was 70.6, and I needed a rating of 90 or better to see a cutscene with the players and cheerleaders celebrating in the locker room. Guess I'm just not good enough. Oh well. So I'd beaten the game, but I wanted to check out some of those cheat codes. Naturally, the first one I went for was Big Head mode. And this one seems more like normal head, small body mode. But it looks cool, I guess. Then there was the huge head cheat. Ah, now that's more like it. Ah, just such an iconic cheat code. Bring this one back, come on. Then there were cheats to turn off the stadium and make fog worse. Yeah, that's pretty much unplayable. And finally there was one for nighttime, as well as no head. The nighttime is barely noticeable, and the no head is kinda neat. Definitely my favorite is huge head. But yeah, that's about all there is for this one. Game complete. So yeah, there you have it, my journey to beating NFL Blitz. I played so much of this in the arcade. In fact, I played it last year at one in Ohio. It's just so much fun with friends, and it's even fun doing a 2v2 match. The game runs smoothly, and I thought the graphics were pretty decent. This one is just as much fun as I remember, although playing against the computer gets pretty repetitive. It's definitely worth checking out, even if you're by yourself, as you might have some nice memories from it. I gave it a 7 out of 10 for enjoyability and a 2 out of 10 for difficulty. Keep in mind, this is a rating for single player. For multiplayer, I'd rate it much higher. Hey, thanks for watching the video. Have a sneak peek at the next game. We got 287 on the list. Anything could come up, honestly. Let's see what it is. 3, 2, 1, go. 131. What is that? Oh, dude, look how close we were. We are playing Load Runner 3D, not Ocarina of Time. But yeah, if you made it all the way to the end, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like. It helps the channel a lot. And if you like this series, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on the next one.